Yeah.
Are they responsible for other ones as well?
This is another question we've rooted about as well. It's a good question. It's a great question. I don't say that Heuermann is not involved in Shannan Gilbert. I don't know if he is or not. Okay? And I've said that before when I've been asked. I adhere to that. There are some odd coincidences. For example, that he's a hunter, and it appears that Shannan was hunted. It also appears that other women were hunted. We know that some of the items that were seized by the police in Heuermann's house were something that they called survivalist items. And survivalism is, as maybe as some of you are, these are people who believe, the nuclear war's coming, the world's coming to an end, that kind of thing, and they're getting ready for it. So they build, they build huts in the woods, and they store foods, and they do all kinds of things to be surviving, and they call themselves survivalists. And Peter Hackett ran a company called Survivalist Dynamics. And it was run with a man who was a graduate of the Coast Guard Academy up in Kings Point area up there. And he and Hackett ran this survivalist operation. So they're 20 minutes away as they drive, 10 minutes as the crow flies from each other. And this is a very peculiar movement where on the internet, with today's standards, everybody gets to know everybody who's involved in their movement. The chances that he and Hackett knew each other are pretty good. But, proof, that's not proof yet. All right, does that help? As far as others being concerned, to answer that rest of your question, it's strictly inference and opinion. We don't have the solid evidence yet, but all of it points to that there are other people involved in various ways. Not necessarily that they're the killers, but, I don't want to be, a preacher in church, but I mean, the moral atmosphere that's created, and by moral I mean the opposite, the immoral atmosphere, that's created by these people over the course of years with the sexual revolution, and everything is okay, and everything goes, has led to these murders. Because it's in that muck that these people operate, and it's muck. And Burke was in it. There's no better example of that than that. He goes up in Farmingville and asks to give a man an oral sex, when he knows very well, up on Bald Hill, any of you that have lived here long enough know very well, it's a notorious place for that to happen. People don't go there and eat their lunches because they're accosted all the time. And I know that because I have clients for several years coming up, they're getting busted. So he knew that they were getting busted, and yet he took the risk and went there because he's a really sick pervert. You think he just became that now? Or was he doing that with the two, Loretta Rickenbacker, who by the way just passed away in December, his girlfriend, who was my client by the way. I helped her too once she came to me as a result of this case. I said, all right, I stepped up and helped her out in her cases. And she just died, but when he was having sex with Loretta in his police car on Albany Avenue over there in the notorious drug-infested place, well, he was supposed to be investigating drugs. And he wasn't just having normal sex, he was having the most outrageous sex you ever heard of in the back seat of the car. That muck exists. That muck is everywhere. And that's why all these swingers clubs thrive, like La Trapeze in New York, for all these years. It's the Oasis over in Smithtown, where there's a list of over 140 prominent people who went there and were doing swapping, swingers, that kind of thing. That all is what has brought this, in my opinion. He was a swinger, Heuermann. And it's funny, when I brought that up, some reporters said to me, and one very prominent reporter from a very prominent national newspaper said to me, what's wrong with that? So what that they were swingers? Everybody is. That's what he said. That's what brought this on. So there are plenty of guilty parties. Some of them don't even know it. That's my answer. Any other questions?
So kind of know each other, then Burke and Heuermann? Maybe
Yeah,
that's
we
why
think,
Heuermann-
I am reasonably certain that Burke and Heuermann knew each other.
Because the original police investigation way back when covered up the fact that one of the victims was a boyfriend or something, said that they met Heuermann. He was a big, tall guy. He had a green Avalanche, like a car that's not that
Right.
big, lived somewhere in Massapequa. That would have taken not too long to find that guy, I would think.
Right.
So I'm wondering if he didn't want them to go over to that area and find Heuermann Burke. You know, because maybe they were somehow in go-to.
Anything's possible like that. A lot of reasonable inferences involved, but it's more likely than not that Burke and Heuermann personally knew each other. All right, and when you get to my January 30th, you'll see that. We have some interesting evidence about that. Okay, so I hope I can see you all. Anyway, I think that I'm being told nicely and gently that my time is over, and I am delighted with you folks, all of you. I wish I could get to know you each and your names at least even, but I thank you for giving me this time and attention, and I think that I'm just looking around, and some people I can tell by faces because I watch juries all the time, right? I watch their faces intimately and say, oh, of course, that one's against me, You're my jury that's not against me, so I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.